Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Kwame Warner, Bitcoin Blockheads, USI Tech Global Team, and the Bitcoin Crypto Club is presenting this presentation to you tonight. I just want to welcome you to the Bitcoin Revolution. Again, my name is Kwame Warner, and I just want to give you a brief background about myself. I don't want to dive into all of that because that's not really important. That's irrelevant. That's not what we're here for. But just to kind of set the stage of who I am. My wife and I, are pretty much serial entrepreneurs. We've had several traditional businesses. The latest, we've owned a meat market in Denver, Colorado for about 11 years. We had the brick and mortar for about going on 7 years. And we also are avid real estate investors. We've flipped houses. We've made a lot of money flipping houses. We've lost a lot of money flipping houses. So goes the industry. And we were blown away about what we are going to share with you tonight. And that's mainly Bitcoin, this cryptocurrency that has taken the globe by storm. Many of you that are viewing this presentation tonight, you might be familiar with Bitcoin. Some of you might not be familiar with it, but by the time we're done, you're going to have a great idea of what Bitcoin is, what the benefits of it are, where you can get it, where you store it, and more importantly, how you can make money with it. We're going to show you one of the ways that we use to make massive passive income with Bitcoin. So we're going to start off tonight, and we're going to talk about this idea of disruptions. Disruptions, we hear that terminology a lot, this whole idea of disruptions, and Bitcoin certainly is a disruption. And when we talk in terms of disruptive innovation, it's just simply a term in the field of business that refers to an innovation that creates a new market and value network and eventually disrupts an existing market and value network. And so we're going to dive right in and take a look at some of the businesses that have been disruptions, and we're going to look at businesses that have disrupted other businesses and have been disrupted because they just kind of rested on their laurels and they didn't innovate anymore. So let's take a look and get started. One of the companies that really changed the landscape of how we communicate with each other is BlackBerry. BlackBerry was the king of the smartphone. When they came out with their smartphone with the built-in keyboard, it just kind of revolutionized things. It made it easier for us to send text messages, to even compose emails on our phone. I mean, everybody that I knew had a BlackBerry. I had two of them. We called them Crackberry, right? Because we're always on a BlackBerry. And so they just really changed that communication landscape. And of course, with the internet being birthed, we needed a way on how we can search the internet, how we can interact and do business on the internet, and Yahoo just really dominated that space for years. They were like the number one search engine. You commercials out there with the jingle, Yahoo. All right, I know I hurt somebody's ears, and it's probably my neighbor's dog barking, but you get the picture, right? Yahoo was it. Plenty of people had Yahoo emails, and they were the forerunners in that particular industry. And then MySpace kind of like grabbed the spearhead and just showed us and introduced us to this thing called social media, where we were able to just share our lives digitally and connect with people that we hadn't seen in years, no matter what part of the country they were in. So MySpace really did a somewhat of a great job. Some people would argue that point, but they were innovators. They were ahead of their time for sure. And when we think in terms of the way that we buy food and we shop, typically most of us go to a big box grocery store like Albertsons, Whole Foods. We may go to Natural Grocers or Walmart, Kroger Company, Piggly Wiggly's, depending on what part of the country you're in. And of course, after dinner, we catch that movie, right? Back in my day, it was Blockbuster. So we would go to Blockbuster, and I was around, probably dating myself, when they had VHS tapes. And I was there for the changing of the guard when VHS bowed and gracefully rode off into the sunset and made way for the DVD. And so Blockbuster was just it. That's where we went to catch those new releases that were released on DVD. And of course, when we travel, we go on vacations, we stay at various different resorts, right? We go on a business trip or a staycation. We got the Holiday Inns, the Marriotts, and a host of other hotels that become our home away from home. And of course, there was compact discs when they came out. I remember having to retire my Sony auto reverse Walkman. How many of you guys had one of those, right? And compact disc pretty much put the cassette tapes to bed, just like cassette tapes pretty much put vinyl to bed, and 8-tracks. And of course, me growing up in New York, we used to catch a lot of taxis, or we'd take the train or the bus. And when you travel a lot, you're in a foreign city that you're not familiar with, you'll probably end up catching a cab or a taxi. And now we're going to look at some of these technologies that have been disrupted. And they were innovators in their time, right? But then along came Steve Jobs, and he had this vision, this idea for this new phone that didn't have a physical keyboard. And everybody laughed, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. And they laughed at him. And right now, 99% of all smartphones on the market, probably close to 100% of all smartphones are keyboardless. They're all touchscreen right now. And Steve Jobs led the charge with that. And of course, there's Redbox and Netflix who put an end to Blockbuster. They literally single-handedly bankrupt Blockbuster. And right now, Uber and Lyft are threatening the taxi industry. It's making it more affordable for you to get from point A to point B, and you don't have to get in a yellow cab anymore. You can get a Uber, what is it, Uber XL or whatever they call it, where you could get picked up in a Mercedes Benz, or there's some Uber drivers that'll even pick you up in a Bentley, believe it or not. And so you could ride in style for a lower cost point than you could with the taxi cabs. And they're making transportation more affordable, and they're disrupting the taxi industry. And of course, there was Mark Zuckerberg, right? College kid with an idea to take social media to the next level, and MySpace just disappeared. And then because of what Mark Zuckerberg was able to do, you have technology such as the social media sites such as Pinterest and Twitter, Snapchat. I'm still not Snapchatting, but I mean, it's a thing, and everybody's starting to hop on that. But social media began to explode, and Mark Zuckerberg just raised the bar on it, and over 1 billion people agree with his platform. Then we've got Airbnb. Airbnb are totally threatening the hotel industry. We could go on vacation right now and rent a whole house for the cost of a hotel room, right? You could rent a whole house for $100 or $200 a night versus being in a 200-300 square foot hotel room, depending on what part of the country you're in. And I mean, it's just great. And so these are innovations. And let me tell you, Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, these are apps, people. Airbnb doesn't own a single property. Uber and Lyft don't own a single vehicle. And they're making billions of dollars off of a mobile app that gave people the convenience to change the way that they travel, the way that they vacation. And it's just innovations that are just totally changing our world. And of course, there's Steve Jobs again with iTunes. He changed the way that we do entertainment, the way that we listen to music, the way that we watch movies. I mean, he didn't invent the MP3, right? It's been around, but he made it more adaptable, accessible, and adoptable. And so he had this idea to take this little box that could fit 10,000 songs on it. Now, you don't have to buy a song. You can just stream them for one low price of $9.95. It's just amazing, some of these technologies. And of course, there was Amazon. Amazon came out with this idea that they were going to sell books online. So many people laughed at Amazon. They said it'll never work. And most of the people that are not innovators, that's what they do. They sit on the sidelines and they point and they laugh, right? But look at Amazon now. Look around your house. Probably 75% or more of the things that you see around your house, you can purchase on Amazon right now. So they're more than just books. And guess what? They'll deliver your stuff with a drone. It's nuts. But moreover, Amazon is threatening the traditional grocery stores. They just recently bought Whole Foods. Came in, slashed the prices. Now Kroger Company and these other big box grocery stores are trembling because of what Amazon is doing. And then there was Google that just totally toppled Yahoo. They are the #1 search engine in the globe. And I mean, think about it. If you didn't know something and you came and you asked me, he's like, Kwame, what is such and such, and I didn't know the answer, what am I going to tell you? I'm not going to tell you Yahoo. What am I going to say? Right. Google it. They've become a household name. I think they're in a dictionary now. Google is actually a word, I think, in a dictionary. But it's amazing. These next two innovations are in the financial sector, and that's Apple Pay and Android Pay, and they've got a whole bunch of other pays. But they changed the way that we pay for things, the way that we do business and interact. So this, I think, is a perfect segue to talk about the next major disruption that is happening right now. And a lot of you have been watching it and have been in awe of it. Some of you are afraid of it, but it's simply this: Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. It's changing our financial landscape. It's changing the way that we look at money. It's changing the way that we spend money. And I'm telling you, it's putting the power back into the hands of the everyday consumer. So let's dive right in, and we're going to take a look at what Bitcoin is. And in diving into that, I think it's important for us to look briefly at its origin, right? So here's Bitcoin explained simply. Bitcoin was created in 2008 by someone by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto is a man, a woman, a group of people. It's unknown. I don't believe anyone's ever met Satoshi Nakamoto. However, Satoshi Nakamoto is a genius, and I applaud him, and I thank Satoshi Nakamoto. But he created this white paper in 2008 about this cryptocurrency, this digital cryptocurrency that was going to revolutionize the way that we do money. And here's what's interesting. He launched Bitcoin in 2009 after the biggest economic collapse that we've ever saw that took place in 2008. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto had to know something, right? Or he had to be mad, because who in their right mind, when banks were filing bankruptcy and people were losing their houses, who in their right mind would launch a new currency? I mean, come on, really? But he was onto something. He was a visionary, and he saw something that is impacting so many people's lives right now. And so here's what Bitcoin is. It is the original and most popular decentralized digital currency, and it's used by all types of people on every continent. I repeat that, on every single continent. And it is definitely a revolution that's disrupting, our financial industry right now. So if I was to explain this simply, this is what I would tell you Bitcoin is. It's simply this: digital cash. And you can send or receive it through the internet. And this idea of digital cash isn't anything really new, except that Bitcoin is decentralized. I mean, think about it. Only 8% of the money in North America is minted. Only 8% of the money in the United States is minted. The other 92% is just a series of ones and O's on one computer being sent to another computer. Think about it. When you go wire money to a friend, or you send a Western Union or anything like that, you're not putting some money onto a carrier pigeon and sending it off into the air, right? You're sending ones and zeros from one computer to another computer. So this is not a really new concept, but it's still kind of hard to wrap your mind around, right? So just track with me. We're going to get into some of the good stuff. So let's look at some of the benefits of Bitcoin. Number one, there's no middleman or central banks. So Bitcoin is not owned by any government. There's no Bitcoin CEO. There's no Bitcoin company. Bitcoin is just the people's currency. And when I say people, I'm talking about everyone on the globe. It's totally peer-to-peer. There's no middleman, right? So I can send Bitcoin from my cell phone to your cell phone at any time of the day, and no one can stop it. The transactions are pretty fast, and there's minimum transactions fees, and you could send Bitcoin to anybody anywhere in the world if you have an internet or cell phone signal. And this is what I think is so important. Your Bitcoins are totally controlled by you and you alone. There's no banker's hours. No one, period, can ever prevent you from sending or receiving Bitcoin. And like I said before, the network is always on. Bitcoin doesn't shut down for Christmas and Thanksgiving. It doesn't get up at 9 o'clock and shut its doors at 5 o'clock. I mean, you have access to your money at all times. At all times. So when the ATM is only giving you $500 and you need 1,000, You could go into your Bitcoin wallet and top off one of your Bitcoin cards, and you have instant access to your money at all times of the day. And we'll talk about more about that later. Here's the other thing that's really great. It has an appreciating value. Have you guys looked at the dollar lately, or whatever currency you have in your nationality, whether it's the euro or the pound or the Canadian dollar? Have you looked at that? The last time I checked, the US dollar was like at 91%, 91 cents. But they say it's worth a dollar, right? It's a farce. The other thing that's great about Bitcoin is that it's anonymous. It's just a symbol of a string of letters and numbers that are strung together, and that's your Bitcoin wallet address. You don't have to put in your name and your address, your CVV code and your credit card number and all that kind of stuff. Bitcoin is just a string of letters and numbers that you send through the airwaves to someone that has another string of letters and numbers. It's magnificent. So these are some of the places that currently accept Bitcoin right now. Some of them accept them directly, and some of them accept it through third parties like Amazon.com. They're working on being able to accept it directly. Some of the companies like Overstock.com, and there's some Mercedes-Benz dealerships and Remax London. You could even book a plane ticket on Expedia. If you go on Expedia right now, just experiment with it. You don't got to book a ticket, but just set up a flight and go to the checkout. You have the option of paying for your flight in Bitcoin. If you want to go out of space, Richard Branson will give you a flight on Virgin Galactica for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is accepted in all these different places, and probably more than I had room enough to put on this computer screen. And for places that don't accept Bitcoin directly, you have any number of these cards depending on what country you live in. I currently use the BitPay card, loved it, was able to use it in Paris when my wife and I went to Paris, and London. We were over in Europe. We were able to pull money out of an ATM in that country's currency just by loading up our card with our Bitcoin. It automatically converted it for us, and it's great. That card holds $25,000 at any one given time, and you could pull out $3,000 cash per day from any ATM in the world. Amazing. And so these cards make it easy for you to spend your Bitcoins wherever Visa or MasterCard are accepted. So it makes it super, super liquid. So how do you get Bitcoin? Where do you get it from, right? Well, these are some of the most popular platforms. The number one platform in the US is Coinbase. You just link your bank account and a debit card there, and with your debit card, you can instantly buy Bitcoin up to $500 in Bitcoin a week. With your bank account, $5,000 a week. You can go to places like localbitcoins.com, plug in your zip code, and you're able to pull up people that in your surrounding area in your city that are willing to sell you some Bitcoin. You can go to a Bitcoin ATM, or you could even roll your IRA over to a Bitcoin IRA or to a solo 401k self-directed IRA, which enables you to purchase Bitcoin. Some of these companies like blockchain.info and Kraken also serve as Bitcoin wallets as well, a place for you to store your Bitcoin. So, I mean, it's totally amazing some of the places that you can get Bitcoin from. And I mentioned Coinbase earlier. If you go to coinbaseoffercode.com, when you create your free account there, through this particular link, they will give you $10 in free Bitcoin, and I'll also get $10 in free Bitcoin. So it's just a perk of using Coinbase, and that's what sets them apart from some of the other exchanges, is that they will give you $10 in free Bitcoin when you buy or sell over $100 in Bitcoin. So what's a Bitcoin wallet? Well, a Bitcoin wallet is just this. It's a place where your private keys are stored. So private keys are necessary for accessing your Bitcoins, and so you always have a Bitcoin wallet address, and that's what's stored in your Bitcoin wallet along with your private keys. And there's a bunch of different Bitcoin wallets. They come in different forms. You got paper wallets, mobile wallets, desktop wallets, web wallets, and hardware wallets, and these are pretty much what they look like. The one in the upper right hand corner, KeepKey, is the one that I use. It's your own personal bank, basically. KeepKey, Ledger, and Trezor do a great job of giving you a hardware wallet that you could store your Bitcoins on offline. And if the device goes bad, all you got to do is get another device insert your private keys, and retrieve your Bitcoin, because your Bitcoin is actually stored in the ether that just holds your private keys. Exodus and Electrum are desktop wallets. Companies like Blockchain, Mycelium, Jax, BitPay, Airbits, and Bread Wallet are what I call a hot wallet. They have cell phone applications that you can download that allows you to have access to your Bitcoin on the go. So we're going to get into the good stuff right now, how we make money with Bitcoin. This is going to be really great. So if you were dozing off on the other parts, perk up now, because we're about to step on the gas. What we're going to do is start off with showing you how Bitcoin stacks up against some other assets like gold and stocks. So let's say back in 2010, you went out and you purchased $10,000 worth of gold. How much do you think that gold would be worth today? Well, let's take a look. $10,230, right? Almost laughable. The good news is gold retains its value, and that's what it's meant to do. It's a great store of value. However, you're not going to get rich off of gold unless you're mining it. So gold is a great way to protect your money and to hedge it against inflation. So nothing to write home about. Gold is what it is. Well, let's take a look at the S&P. I know there's probably a lot of day traders out there, people that are in the stock market. What if we purchased $10,000 worth of stocks in the S&P 500 back in 2010, July 2010? What do you think that would be worth? So $26,037, not bad, right? It's not bad at all. I mean, they're not going to make you fire your boss or quit your job. I mean, you might take a little extra vacation and you probably send your broker a bottle of wine or something. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. And this is going to be based on the price of Bitcoin back in 2010 of 8 cents. And we're going to use the which is crazy, because the current market value at the time when I updated this 2 days ago, Bitcoin was at 9,000 when I updated this particular slide. Right now, we know that it's much higher than that. So what would that $10,000 be worth today? Oh, yeah, baby. $1,125,500,000. How many people will want to get that check? Show of hands. I can't see you, but I'm sure you'd be raising your hand, right? So $1,125,500,000. A lot of you are not even able to wrap your mind around that. You know, and a lot of people weren't able to either, because if they bought it at 8 cents, if they were anything like me, as soon as that puppy hit $1, I'm selling, right? Some of us don't have the discipline or the foresight to have held on to that unless we just forgot that we had it. And there were a few people that did do that, and they made an undisclosed amount of money with Bitcoin at that time. So let's take a look at the numbers. Back in 2010, it was at 8 cents. And, you know, I love numbers because I love what Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Back in 2010, it was 8 cents. March 2011, $1. July 2011, $31. April 2013, $266. November of the same year, $11.52. January 2014, $9.95. November 2015, it took a little bit of a flash crash. People like, oh no, the pundits were right, it's a Ponzi. Oh, it's gonna crash, I gotta pull my money out. And as soon as they did, they got rid of the weak-hearted. It went back up to $9.76, which is around the time myself and Kenny Ho, one of my best friends, got involved in the cryptocurrency markets. And February, it was about the same. September, $4,997. October, it set a new all-time high of $5,990. But guess what? 1 month later, folks, if you would have bought Bitcoin back in October, you would have been really popping some bottles. $11,009. We just did that tonight. I had to go in and update that before I started this recording. $11,000 Bitcoin crested tonight. Amazing. And they're thinking it's probably going to hit easily 12 to 15,000 before December. So if you're watching this slide in December, you heard it here first. So let's look at the ways that you make money with Bitcoin. One of the number one ways when it was popular, when Bitcoin first came out, was mining. And miners are just everyday people like us that own Bitcoin, but they've downloaded the blockchain on a computer. And what they do is they process and verify the transactions that are added to the public ledger. The public ledger is called the blockchain. That's all the blockchain is just an open public ledger where all the transactions are recorded. Each block is about 1 megabyte in size, and it contains pretty much a set number of transactions. It could be 3 transactions, 4, 11 transactions. But once it hits 1 megabyte worth of transactions, that block is closed off, a new block is open, and Bitcoin is created that way. And the miners are rewarded with Bitcoin for being the first ones to solve the complex computer algorithms and verify those transactions. So that was a popular way back then when it first started, but now you got to buy an $8,000, $9,000, $12,000 mining computer instead of being able to use your Dell laptop. You got to get this mining rig that sucks up power like nobody's business. And so for the everyday average person, it's just not feasible to mine Bitcoin anymore. Here's the other 2 ways that are more familiar. That's trading Bitcoin. That's just simply when you buy at one price and you sell it at a higher price, and you make the profit between those 2 prices less any commissions that you paid out. And the other one is buying and hodling. And hodling is a thing now, people. It's actually a industry term, hodl. So if you see someone with a t-shirt that says keep calm and hodl, here's what it means. There's a guy that was, where it originated from, is a guy that was posting while Bitcoin was going through like somewhat of a retreat. And he was saying, don't sell, hodl, hodl, hodl. So it was a typo that I don't know if he was drunk or what, but it was a typo. And of course, creatures as we are, we ran with it and we made it a thing. So they made hodl stand for hold on to dear life. So just buy and hodl. That was one way, or AKA holding. That was one way of investing in Bitcoin, is just buying it and holding on to it and just hoping for that increase in value like we've been seeing historically since 2009. Again, the previous slide, the numbers don't lie. So what we're going to talk about, we're going to dive into, I'm going to show you one of the marquee ways, the best way that my wife and I and Kenneth Ho and some of the other people on our team are earning and compounding Bitcoin passively daily on autopilot 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. This is probably the most exciting thing that you're going to see tonight. And in being able to learn about this, it'll enable you to participate in a large mining and trading operation, earning Bitcoin daily on autopilot. The cool thing about this, there's no enrollment fees, no monthly membership fees, no hidden fees, period. It's just totally free to set up your account and get started. So there's really no excuse for you after this presentation to not set up a free account and get started and really set yourself up for a major win. So what I want to introduce to you is a company called USI Tech. They are definitely the future of cryptocurrency. USI Tech is led by Horst Chika, Mike Kiefer, and Ralph Gold. Together, they've got over 30 years experience in the financial sector. These guys are beasts at what they do. In fact, Horst Chika actually took 3 companies public in his lifetime. 2 of those 3 companies, I believe, he took from 0 to over $1 billion. So I love having leadership like that at the head of a company that has that kind of a track record. Their dev team has over 20 years experience, and they're based in the UAE, and they have offices in Dubai, Philippines, South Korea, and Tokyo. They are open internationally. One of the things that impressed me about them, they retain the #1 legal attorney and SEC legal firm for compliance in this industry. So it was pretty cool that though they're not registered with the SEC, they've taken the steps to be compliant, which speaks volumes to where they want to take the company. At the time when I printed this up, we had over 550,000 active members globally. That number's probably eclipsed 600,000 by now. And it's pretty much available wherever there's an internet connection. They introduced this package I'm going to talk to you about called the BTC package in March 1st, 2017 for the US and worldwide markets. They had the official USA launch in August 26th. My wife and I were able to fly into Philly, the King of Prussia, in August of 2017 for that official launch. It's basically the housewarming. They had already been doing business in the US for over a year. but that was the official launch after they got the opinion letters from the attorneys and they got the green lights and stuff. And right now they're disrupting the space, man. They are totally disrupting the space. So let's take a look at this BTC package. This is USI's flagship product, and this is what essentially allows you the ability to earn Bitcoin daily through their Bitcoin mining and trading operation. So each package costs approximately 50 euros. Usually the price in US converts to about $60 to $65 on average. USI pays you out approximately 1% daily, Monday through Friday during market days. And that 1% is a return on capital plus what your original cost for the packages were. The returns are paid in Bitcoin because you have to purchase these packages with Bitcoin, which is fantastic. And the return on each package is about 40%. And each package has a shelf life or a runtime of 140 market days. That doesn't count the weekend, so it's about 6 months or so you're looking at having the opportunity to earn those percentages. The cool thing is you can auto rebuy packages every time you earn 50 euros or 65 bucks, $60 to $65 in Bitcoin in your wallet with USI. Or you can just withdraw your returns daily, 24/7. They don't keep your money hostage, which is great. And here's the most important thing: you earn regardless of what's happening in the market. You're going to earn that approximate 1% daily, no matter what is happening in the market, and that is huge. So here's what the BTC package basically is. We talked about 2 of the 3 ways of making money in Bitcoin were trading and mining. They've taken 2 of those 3 ways to make money in Bitcoin and combined them and created this BTC package, which is a way for you to leverage your Bitcoin, which is super phenomenal. So what we're going to take a look at right now is the compound effect, is what I like to call it. And this is what gets you the astronomical, insane returns with your Bitcoin. And in your dashboard, once you sign up, you're going to see this feature called the rebuy feature. And what this enables you to do is just super leverage your Bitcoin by automatically rebuying packages. So every new package you get, think of it as a new business that you've just opened that's paying you out approximately 1%. So the object lesson here is that you want to rebuy packages. Now, taking a look at this particular example, we start off with 100 packages and you're looking at 0.8928 Bitcoin for those packages. With no rebuy on, your total return on the end of 140 market days is 1.25 Bitcoin. Not bad, right? It beats it sitting in your wallet. So here's what that looks like dollars and cents wise. So at Bitcoin being at 9,500 bucks, 0.8928 Bitcoin is $8,481.60. So your potential returns without compounding, let's say that Bitcoin 6 months from now is at 15,000. It's almost laughable because we know that it could potentially be a lot higher than that, or it could be lower than that. Who knows? But let's just say 15,000, and you take that 1.25 Bitcoin, you're looking at $18,750, right? That's a great return, but that return is in Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is doing better than 15 grand, that number goes up for you. Now let's look at the same example using the rebuy. So you've got 100 packages, same price to purchase these packages, but with the rebuy, instead of the 1.25, you've got 3.5885 Bitcoin. That's almost triple. It would be like senseless not to put on the rebuy function when you get started. So let's take a look at it in dollars and cents. Same cost of entry, $8,481.60. And granted, you can get started with 12 packages, 20 packages, 50 packages. We just use the example of 100 packages because it helps accelerate what you're doing a lot faster. So same example, $15,000 as a price for market price for Bitcoin 6 months from now, we're speculating, times 3.588, $53,000. Do you see the big difference in that? So which of the returns would you rather have? Would you rather have this one, the one on the left, or would you rather have the one on the right? One on the right, hands down. I mean, you hear the trumpets blowing, the angels are singing in perfect harmony. I mean, 18,750 is great numbers, but I like 53, 80, 20 a lot better. And so that's the power of compounding. So I like to use this example. If you just left your Bitcoin in a digital wallet, for a year or 6 months, you're going to come back, you're still going to have 1 Bitcoin. But if you leverage this thing, this is what's totally possible. So we don't want that one. We want this one on the right. Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And we've been paying compounded interest on our houses, right? Our cars, our credit cards. Isn't it time that we kind of flip the script on that? Instead of the banks making all the money, you be the bank and you make all the money. I think that's a far better outcome. So how do you get started? What do you have to do? It's really simple. Whoever got you to take a look at this presentation is by invitation only. So they're going to give you a special link that will take you to a page where you can go ahead and get started. You just simply click the Get Started Now button. You fill out your pertinent information on the next screen that you see, and then you'll get a confirmation email. You want to make sure that you click that thing, and it'll take you into your back office. You'll complete your profile, and you'll be ready to go. Then it's just a matter of getting your packages. You simply click on the left where it says place your order, and it'll take you to the screen right here. And once you do that, it'll ask you, how do you want to fund out your purchase? Because you're just brand new to USI, you would send it from an external wallet, whether it be Coinbase, blockchain.info. You'll just buy your Bitcoin and you pay for it with your external wallet. This is your Bitcoin address. This is what you're going to be. This is the Bitcoin address for this particular transaction. So you would just, if you're buying whatever number of packages, you'll send a grand total amount to this particular address, just like sending an email. And then you'll have your packages. You'll be ready to go. The next thing that you want to do is set up your rebuy. We talked about why that's important. So you want to set that bad boy to 100%. And then you also want to include the unilevel and car bonus in your rebuy as well. And keep in mind, you could set this at wherever you want, 50-50, 25-75, or you could turn it off completely and keep your account liquid so that you could withdraw your Bitcoin whenever you want. But I recommend what I do. I can't tell you what to do, but what I do, I keep mine on 100%, and I've had it running full cycle, full term, and it's been a great run. So that's all I got for you right now. It's easy to get started. There's no reason for you not to get started today. It's totally free to set up your account. You could either be a sideline or you could be a headliner. You could continue to sit on the sidelines and let another opportunity pass you by and kick yourself in the pants because you didn't get involved while maybe your neighbor did. And so, listen, here's the deal. Take action and get started today. The other cool thing about USI, we're marketing billboards. We market for Nike. We market for Coach and Burberry. We market for whatever designer that we like. When we drive our cars around, typically the dealer's name is on the trunk of our car. How much money are they giving you for marketing? How much money is the movie theater giving you for recommending that movie that you really like? And how much is the restaurant paying you for recommending their restaurant or giving a review on Yelp? Well, if you're like me, I haven't got a check yet. But what USI does, they will give you unlimited 10% referral commissions for everybody that you liberate by showing them how they can get involved with cryptocurrency and leveraging it. It's a beautiful thing. So you have no excuses. This is an opportunity that could definitely change and impact your life. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you walk away with a lot more understanding of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and learning how you can begin to take advantage of the greatest disruptive innovation in our lifetime next to the internet, and that is cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin and the blockchain it operates on. So have a fantastic night. Hope to see you on the beaches of the world. Here's to your future abundance. This is Kwame Warner, Bitcoin Blockheads, Bitcoin Crypto Club, USI Tech Global Team signing out. You have a great night, and I'll see you soon.